Supreme Court. Demolition of the alley began in 1903. The new Louisiana Supreme Court was completed in 1910, and the first season in the building is in October of the same year, which is session pre-held. The building has also several state offices like the Department of Fisheries and Wildlife and the Attorney General's office. The Beaux Arts style and terracotta sculptures might be looked at with wonder today, but the Supreme Court building was considered an eyesore when it was completed. It was called an intrusion and an artistic loss by locals and the media. Architect Charles Harris Whitaker called it one of the worst examples of a public building to be found in all of America. The lack of appreciation could be what caused its downfall. In the 1940s, the lack of public funding made the Supreme Court building a difficult place to work. The building was not being maintained and had begun to fall into disrepair. Several government offices decided to relocate, and the Louisiana Supreme Court moved to the Civic Center in 1948. The building remained mostly abandoned for decades, though the Department of Fisheries and Wildlife continued to operate in the building until 1982. The possibility of renovating the Royal Street building began to circulate amongst lawyers and politicians in the 80s and 90s. The idea gathered steam, and the Louisiana Historical Society was founded in 1992 to lead the charge. Over the next few years, the organization secured funding and began restorations and renovations. By 2004, the building was complete, and the Louisiana Supreme Court moved back to Royal Street. One by one, the officers that had vacated the building decades earlier had begun move back in. And Royal Street is a beauty indeed, one of my favorite streets in all the French Quarter, if not the favorite. The ghost of the Louisiana Supreme Court. Nearly every building in New Orleans is haunted, but oftentimes we don't expect government offices to be haunted as well, or have ghosts.